Is allowed to present the poster. Participants who have registered for the poster presentation kindly go to the room next to the media hall. Only one person is allowed to present each poster. We move on to the last technical session of today's seminar. May I invite Anne-Marie Shom of First PG, Food and Industrial Microbiology, to speak a few words about the speaker, Dr. Sebastian Abraham, MBBS, MD, DM.
Dr. Sebastian Abraham, MBBS, MD, DM, has served as a former professor and head of the Department of Nephrology at Government Medical College, Kottayam, where he played a key role in shaping advanced renal healthcare and mentoring a generation of medical professionals. His academic contributions continue as he served as a valued Board of Studies member at the Kerala University of Health Science, guiding the development of medical education and research. In addition to his medical achievements, he leads community health initiatives as the president of Kottayam Kidney Club, working tirelessly to create awareness on kidney health and patient welfare. Dr. Sebastian Abraham also works currently as a senior consultant nephrologist at KMC Hospital, Chenganur, and St. Thomas Hospital, Chittipura, Chenganasheri, where his expertise and compassion continues to make a meaningful difference in countless lives.
Thank you, Anne, for illuminating us about the speaker. Now, I invite Dr. Sebastian Abraham into the dais.
Very good afternoon to everybody. First of all, I would like to thank for the nice introduction and nice words for introducing me. I am very much thankful to the BK College principal who invited me for this program, and also the organizing team, especially Department of Botany and Microbiology. So you know that this week is mainly dedicated for the antimicrobial resistance and awareness program. So a lot of programs are conducted in different healthcare sectors. So what is this antimicrobial resistance? So you know the microbes. So you may be knowing about the microbes. So any organisms which are seen under microscope. That is why it is called microbe. So visible under microscope. So very small organisms. So it may be virus, bacteria, fungus or parasite. So antimicrobials are a group of drugs, maybe mainly bactericidal. If it is against the bacteria, it is called a bactericidal or bacteristat. So if it is against if it is against virus, it is called a antiviral, like that. So what is the importance of this antimicrobial resistance? So what is the definition of antimicrobial resistance? It is the ability of microbes to survive and grow despite exposure to drugs designed to kill them. So if a drug is designed to kill a microbe, it is called antimicrobial. So if this drug acquire resistance against this, if the microbe survive and grow against this antimicrobial agent, it is called antimicrobial resistance. So like if your security is firing against you, then what will happen? So your health will be at risk. Like that, antimicrobial resistance is a major healthcare problem. So it is among the 10 major problems the WHO has taken as a major risk in the healthcare sector. So according to the WHO report 2025, they are telling that if you are taking bacterial infection, every 6 bacterial infection is caused by a pathogen resistant to antibiotics. So this is a very dangerous situation. So when you are using antibiotic, at least 1 in 6 is not acting properly. The another thing is a very common infection, which most of us at least once in our lifetime have experienced, is urinary tract infection. So they are telling this E. coli, it is a common organism which is producing urinary tract infection. So the resistance is around 33 to 90%. So it is a very quite alarming situation. So common antibiotics, if you are using, even up to 90% resistance is there. This is a very dangerous situation. And also that thing which is very in India, they are telling this polymyxin resistant bacterial prevalence is around 15%. This also is alarming situation. So polymyxin actually it is a high-end antibiotic. So it is the powerful antimicrobial. So even 15% of these pathogens, microorganisms, are resistant to this polymyxin. This is also a very much alarming situation as far as the medical section is concerned. Why AMR is a real problem, serious problem? So you know that once the antimicrobial is not acting, so infection treatment may be difficult. So it may be, so you have to search for other newer antibiotics, newer antimicrobial, or some other new things to treat this. Otherwise, it may progress to deaths, impossible to treat. So also the hospital cost will increase, and the hospital stay will be increased, high mortality and morbidity. So another important thing, because I am a nephrologist, introduction you have. So the problem is that the kidney, once the kidney is failed, kidney is an organ which is very much concerned with the immunity of the body. So you may think it is only a urine producing organ. It is not like that. Kidney has lot of other functions also. So once the kidney fail, there will be decreased immunity. So because of that, there will be increased susceptibility to infection, especially chronic kidney disease. And also, if the chronic kidney disease, the cause for the renal failure may be some autoimmune disease like lupus nephritis. So in this situation also, there will be if the antimicrobial resistance is there, infection comes, may be very difficult to treat. For example, if a patient is on dialysis patient will be on sometimes this jugular catheter. this catheter may get infected. So it can produce resistant infection and even increase the mortality and morbidity. So another situation is a transplant. So kidney transplant, liver transplant, heart transplant, you know that now everything is being done in our Kottayam Medical College. Last week they have done lung transplant also. So this is another situation where the resistant organisms, so they may do, even I remember the first heart transplant which was done in Kottayam, and patient went well, but after 1 week developed the fungal infection and viral infection, CMV infection, and the patient died. So the most important problem is that even though all the work was done perfectly, because of this infection, especially hospital acquired infection, that also is a very dangerous situation. So if a microbe develop antimicrobial resistance and it is again multiplying and it is transmitting to other patients, it can produce dangerous situation. So the global burden of this antimicrobial resistance, so 1.27 million deaths per year globally, and projected 10 million by 2050. So if you are not tackling it properly, it can produce 10 million deaths by 2050. So this is also, that's why WHO and CDC has taken it as a major challenge. So antimicrobial resistance, awareness, and these programs like this will help you to prevent. I think the most important thing is always we tell the prevention is better than cure. So prevention is the most important. So how we can prevent the development of infection, that will be the most important thing we can do. Because once the infection develops, and if it is a persistent infection, may be a very difficult situation. So I am telling this because you know that how this antibiotic resistance spreads and develops. This is a diagram which will help you to say if the animal get antibiotics, because you know that most of the time we are in the poultry industry and in the other, especially animal husbandry, they are using a lot of antibiotics. So animal gets antibiotic and develop resistant bacteria in their gut. That is one situation. And through this animal, if the drug resistant bacteria can remain in the meat of the animal, and if you are taking that meat without proper cooking, this bacteria will come to the man and it can produce resistant infection. Another thing is the animal excreta, which may contain bacteria. So animal excreta can be used as you know, that fertilizer. So through that, again, the vegetables, if it is not properly cleaned and cooked properly, this bacteria may again get into the human body and can produce infection, resistant bacteria. Then another right side, the one person who is having antibiotics, get antibiotic and got antibiotic resistant bacteria in the gut. From him also, through various mechanisms. So if the patient, the person is George, he is admitted in the hospital. From that person you can get spread the infection through various ways to other patients also. So this is a diagram showing how this infection is propagating, and the resistant bacterial infection is propagating and producing problems. So at each level, so if you know how the history from the flow chart, you can know where are the areas which you can act and prevent the spread of bacteria. You can think about that. So what is the exact mechanism of antimicrobial resistance? You know that there is a mutation. Sometimes a mutation which can produce antimicrobial resistance. Second is the gene transfer, horizontal gene transfer. And another is a selection pressure. Some bacteria, if a antibiotic is given to a bacterial colony, some bacteria, most of the bacteria will be killed, but a few bacteria may develop resistance. And this bacteria, because very few are there, they have enough substance for replicating and increasing their size. So this will again, that is called a selection pressure, and this will spread, and this can be spread especially in the hospital setup. It is a very dangerous situation in the environment and also through the food. So these are the ways by which this antimicrobial resistance develops. So what are the drivers of this antimicrobial resistance? So most important thing is the antimicrobial use, overuse and misuse. For example, so you know that who invented penicillin? Alexander Fleming. So Alexander Fleming invented penicillin, and this penicillin, actually it is an antimicrobial antibiotic. So what is the difference between antimicrobial and antibiotic? Any?
Antibiotic can be against any organism. Antimicrobial against bacteria.
So actually, so penicillin is an antibiotic. Ciprofloxacin is an antimicrobial. So antimicrobial because penicillin, from where penicillin is produced? Fungus. So microbe against a microbe. That is an antibiotic. That's why it is called antibiotic. So ciprofloxacin is a chemical. So both are actually doing the same work, but yeah. So overuse of this, so if this penicillin, which is intended to kill a bacteria, that is a major bacteria, then what will happen if this penicillin is used for a very simple infection? The bacteria may get exposed to this penicillin and they may get resistance. So actually the doctor has to prescribe right medicine, right dose and right duration. That is the main motto of antibiotic stewardship. So actually this antibiotic should be properly used, otherwise it can produce, that's why overuse, misuse of the antibiotic. For example, if a patient can be treated with the penicillin and he is given a high-end antibiotic like carbapenem. For example, you know that this leptospirosis or leptospirosis, you know, Elipenny. So for this patient, ideal is penicillin. But most of the doctors, they will start very high antibiotic first. So what will happen? With a very simple thing, we can manage this problem. But because you want to, if another infection is there, all will be killed by this broad spectrum antibiotic. So if you know the organism proper, you can use the proper antibiotic and can prevent the development of antimicrobial resistance. Then another is the antibiotic in livestock and agriculture that we already discussed. So here also we can at least limit the use of this thing, and even when you are using this the food products, you can be careful. Another thing is, a very important thing is substandard antibiotic. That is also very, so because if the quality of the antibiotic is not good, it can produce antimicrobial resistance. Then the most important thing and the area where we can or you can also help is the infection control practice. Actually, I will be mostly telling about this thing in my lecture. I think it is the most important thing. The most important thing is because when you are, especially if you are handling with a healthcare a patient, always do a proper hand washing and the area, especially the where the patients are taken care of, should be very properly handled. Then third, other thing is the quality of water and the sanitation. So quality of water also is very important because if you are not using a very good quality water, especially for a dialysis, now the number of patients on dialysis is very much increased. Even Kottayam Medical College, I was telling last time when I visited this, we were here for a World Kidney Day last year because we had some health talk and orientation regarding the kidney health, and we were telling about the dialysis at that time. So dialysis, if the proper water is not used, these dialysis patients can develop infection. And also, how many, around 40 dialysis machines are there in Kottayam Medical College, and every month around 2,500 dialysis is coming. You know the quality of this quantity and the quality of the service we people are giving for this kidney care patient. But the most important and most difficult situation we face is the infection. And the most of the patients are dying because of the infection. Proper infection control practices are not, because sometimes difficult to handle because the number of patients are more, the number of staff nurses are less, number of technicians are less, and you don't have enough resources to have these infection control practices. So I think the most important thing which we people can concentrate is this infection control practice. Another thing is surveillance. We should have a very proper surveillance of these patients. Actually, this is actually a theory. I don't know whether it will be very much useful. Mechanism of antimicrobial resistance. It is mainly for theoretical. Just I will go through this thing, but it may be interesting for academically interested people. The most important thing is because the antimicrobial resistance, how it will develop. I will just briefly tell about. So one is the most important thing is that this penicillin, you know that the penicillin will be acting on the cell wall of the bacteria. So if there is a beta lactamase enzyme there in the cell wall of the bacteria, this will destroy the insulin ring so that it cannot act. This is happening in the penicillin, beta lactam resistant penicillin. So this is one enzyme inactivation. That is one mode of antimicrobial resistance. Second thing is, so this is a beta lactam resistant bacteria. Another is alteration of the drug target site. So, for example, a drug is acting on the enzyme or a ribosome of the bacteria, and this target binding protein is changed. So drug cannot act over. So the bacteria will get resistance. That is happening in methicillin resistant staphylococcus. Another mode of action of antimicrobial resistance is the decreased permeability of the drug, because the bacteria, especially Pseudomonas produce some channels, decrease the porine expression in the because of that decreased expression, the cell cannot the bacteria cannot enter or the drug cannot enter the bacterial cell wall. So that is called decrease because this will block the entry of the drug into the bacteria. So that is another way of antimicrobial resistance, especially in the Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas is a dangerous bacteria, especially in the hospital acquired infection. Then another method is the bacteria, the drug is efflux or propelled out of the body, from the bacterial body by the reflex pumps. So drug is entering the bacteria, but there is a pump there in the bacterial cell wall. It will be propelling it out of the bacteria. This is happening especially in the tetracycline and macrolide resistance in the case of E. coli. E. coli is a bacteria which can produce mainly gastrointestinal infection and urinary tract infection. Then sometimes a bypass or alternate metabolic pathway. So there is a because some drugs are used to block the metabolic pathway. For example, sulfonamide synthesize the bacteria folic acid synthesis is blocked by the sulfonamide. So in sulfonamide resistant bacteria, there may be some alternate folic acid pathway they develop as a part of the resistance mechanism. So if the sulfonamide is blocking that folate pathway, there is another bypass pathway is there. Through that, this folic acid will be there, so the bacteria will survive. Then another thing is a biofilm formation. So this is happening especially in the infection secondary to the catheters. You know that catheters, you can jugular catheters are for the dialysis purpose. Sometimes Foley's catheter for the urinary, if there is a urinary obstruction, you will put in the catheter. So this biofilm, it is a coating which is occurring in the catheter site, catheter tip. Catheter tip, this biofilm, there is a group of microorganisms and also the fibrin. Because of this biofilm, this bacteria, the antibiotic cannot enter this bacteria, and this bacteria will perpetuate there. Because this film is there. Because of that film, it's a collection of fibrin and all bacterial colonies. So the bacteria, antibiotic you are giving, they may kill some bacteria, but the inside bacteria in the biofilm will survive, and that will again produce infection. So here in this situation, you have to remove that catheter and reintroduce other catheter. That is the only way out. So if you are pumping in antibiotic, it may not. So this again will produce increased mortality and morbidity. So this is just a diagrammatic representation of what all things I have told, like enzyme degradation, limiting entry, that is efflux mechanisms, then the plasmid, modification of drug targets, biofilm, all these things are there. So what is the impact of AMR on the health care? So you know that if the infection is there, so actually you have to have aseptic precautions when you are planning a subject. And somehow some infection occurs in a surgery post-operative patient, that become a very, especially if you are doing an appendicectomy, and if there is a surgical site infection, or if there is some this colonic diverticula, or there is a peritonitis. All these things, if the antibiotic is not acting properly, it can produce infection and worsen the situation. And another situation, you know that the carcinoma is very common nowadays. Carcinoma patients, they are also on very immunosuppressive patients, some agents, some drugs which are given for the cancer, they will have immunosuppression. So immunity may not be there. So if they get an infection, that will be the end of the application. So it's also a difficult situation. Another is I already told about the dialysis and transplant. Then infants. So infants, if they are getting an infection, and also maternal infection, especially in the pregnancy postpartum cases. So it may be a very dangerous situation. So because of this propagation of this resistant infection, it can produce chronic infections. So what are the high risk resistant organisms? So just I am naming some. One is the Staphylococcal aureus, which is a bacteria which is present in the skin, and it can produce skin infection. So actually initial antibiotic was a methicillin. It is a derivative of penicillin. But now we have a lot of methicillin resistant Staphylococcal aureus, that is called MRSA. Another is enterococcal fever. This is also a microbe organism or bacteria which is present in the gut. So vancomycin is a drug which is used for this treatment of this. But now we are getting a lot of vancomycin resistant enterococcal. Then Klebsiella, Acinetobacter, Pseudomonas. So even these, they are having this extended spectrum bacterial active. That is the ESBL. So another is carbapenem. Carbapenem is a new antibiotic like meropenem. Maybe if you are going into a hospital, you may hear these names. So last one I have written is the MDR-TB. That is a multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. This is also another problem. You know that tuberculosis is a disease which is very much treatable. But now we have a lot of multi-drug resistant tubercle bacilli, and especially in the background of HIV. So HIV, you know that there is a immunosuppression. So acquired immunodeficiency state is AIDS. So if a patient, AIDS patient is getting tuberculosis and that also is multi-drug resistant, it's a very serious situation. So we are getting a lot of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis now. So this is a very, if you are not preventing, it may spread and produce mortality. So just I am just mentioning about some resistant. So then you just these things I already mentioned, I think. The community spread of bacteria, hospital-acquired infection, catheter-related infection, surgical site infection, etc. What are the therapeutic implications of antimicrobial persistence? So, if a patient is developing antimicrobial resistance, so what will, because one patient is presented with infection or a catheter-related infection. So that's why if the patient was put in a catheter and dialysis was started, third day or fourth day patient is running fever with a shivering and all, and we know that it is a bacterial infection, and we start some antibiotic. Baseline antibiotic is started, but the patient is not improving. So we are forced to give more costly and more powerful antibiotics, and that too, a single antibiotic may not be effective. For example, it may be toxic drugs, because some drugs which are higher antibiotic, if you are giving, they may be toxic to the kidney, sometimes the liver, like that. But if the patient is very much sick, we are forced to give this high antibiotic. Then sometimes combination of antibiotics. So one drug may not be effective. You have to give one or two antibiotics. So this will again, and another problem is that you have to diagnose it at proper time. If this drug resistance is not properly diagnosed, patient will be again in danger and even patient may die. So all these things can produce increased mortality and morbidity. So just anyway, again the repetition, I already told all these things, because when you are giving 2 or 3 antibiotics together can produce again problem. Then the multi-drug resistant tuberculosis you have to give. Usually in the treatment of tuberculosis we are giving 4 drugs as a combination. Sometimes if a patient is having resistance to one antibiotic, you have to change that and you are substituting with a higher antibiotic. So that will be again a very difficult situation, maybe costly, maybe toxic, like that. So these are so if you are giving more of antimicrobial and or a combination, especially in a very, very serious situation, it can again produce multi-organ failure sometimes. So, but here we cannot escape like that. We cannot, we have to treat and see. So that's why higher antibiotics are given. Again, the healthcare cost increases. So these are the implications of AMR. Sometimes therapeutic implications also. So you have to, already I told that when you are using colistin, vancomycin, aminoglycoside, they can produce nephrotoxicity, ototoxicity, kidney failure. Sometimes antibiotic can produce kidney failure. So, and the dose of antibiotic has to be modified accordingly. And even aminoglycoside, say that it's another antibiotic, can produce ototoxicity, hearing defect. So we have to look for other therapeutic modalities. So newer antibiotic has to be. So here we have to, in the research front, we have to look for other newer antimicrobials. This is a thing which we have to look for. So then the resistant methods like a beta-lactam inhibitors can be used. Then another mode of therapy is a phage therapy. You might have heard of bacteriophage. So bacteriophage is another therapy which can be. Then monoclonal antibodies can be used. Antimicrobial peptides. Then CRISPR-based antimicrobial. These are the newer techniques. Then vaccines. The vaccines also can be used to prevent the infection. So in agriculture, so this you have to limit the use of these antimicrobials, especially for the growth. And this thing we are using more of antibiotics in the agriculture and the livestock and the aquaculture. So this will again produce resistant organism. So how to slow antimicrobial resistance? Actually, this is an area you have to be very careful for individual level. So 3 levels are there. One is the individual level, second is the hospital level, the third one is. From the individual level, what all things as an individual we can do? Use antibiotic only when prescribed. And now it is almost, government already banned the, usually previously people used to go to the medical store and ask for antibiotic. Give amoxicillin or ampicillin. Like that people used to, if there is infection, some sore throat is there, people will go and buy antibiotic. But nowadays it is limited because we cannot, they are not supposed to give antibiotic without any prescription. So, and complete the full course of antibiotic. That is another so now what we are using, if you are using an antibiotic, so prescribed antibiotic for 5 days by the doctor, but you are 1 or 2 days time, the fever subside and the bacteria, if you are not using it properly, the some and some bacteria might be there, some are there, they will survive this antibiotic, and because of that antibiotic resistance. Then do not share or use antibiotic. So another way is that if you have an antibiotic, 10, 15 antibiotic, 15 numbers with you, you might have used 10 only for the fever first time. Next time fever comes, other remaining antibiotic is used. This will again produce problem. Then practice good personal hygiene, hand washing, all these things are very important as far as the individual level is concerned. Then the infection control practice. How will you control the infection? Strategies to control, especially in the hospital care. Hospital. This is mainly three things are there. One is the infection control practices. So infection control, actually there is a section in the hospital, major hospitals, there will be infection control officer, there will be infection control nurse, because infection control nurse has to go through each ward and see there is any infection, especially hospital acquired infection. So what is hospital acquired infection? If a patient is admitted for a surgery, for example, some hernia surgery or appendectomy, patient is admitted and surgery, after surgery, third day or fourth day, patient is having fever and there is some infection over the suture site. That is called a hospital acquired infection. Because of the patient, when the patient came, there was no fever. After hospitalization, 48 hours or 72 hours after hospitalization, if the patient develops infection, it is most likely it is a hospital acquired infection. The danger of hospital acquired infection is that most of these infections will be antimicrobial resistant infection and very difficult to treat. So this is so infection control practices by the infection control team is very important. The second thing is the antibiotic stewardship and screening for the resistant organism. These are the three things. So the core infection control practices. This is the most important thing. I think the most important thing I want to convey to you people is the thing which I am telling now, because a lot of theory and other things. The most important thing in the infection control practice is the hand hygiene, proper hand washing, especially when you are going to the hospital, even for a visit. When you are coming out, you should have a proper hand washing. When you are coming to the house, with soap and water, that is enough. Before touching the patient and after that also you have to hand wash. This is practical for the doctors also, but most of us are even failing on these things. And especially this, otherwise you have to use a hand scrub or something like that. Then use of personal protective equipments to prevent exposure to infection. You know that when COVID came, masks were used. Actually, because of that, some people, even doctors, are using masks now. And so there was a study, they are telling that respiratory infections are very less after this COVID era, because most of us are using, doctors and the healthcare personnel are using the mask. So that is very important. Then the gloves and the gown, especially caring the patient, and googles for especially eye ophthalmology, the eye protection. Then the more proper respiratory hygiene. You should have a cough etiquette, wearing mask when you are coughing, open space, don't cough. If you have to close your mouth like that. Then the environment cleaning. the cleaning of the surfaces with the proper disinfectants, sterilization of medical equipments, safe injection practices. So sometimes when a IV line is started, the site may be getting infected because of the improper aseptic precautions. Proper disposal of the biomedical waste, especially sharps, needles, and this there are some protocols. You should have some color codes are there, color coded bins are there. You have to put the biomedical waste here. It has to be properly disposed. All these things has to be properly taken care of. That the isolation precautions are there. All these things are medical plans anyway. These are things you have to. So then the antimicrobial stewardship. I already told about all these things. So use antimicrobials only when they are necessary, and it should be done by a qualified doctor. Select right drug, right dose, right duration, and right route. And vaccination of the healthcare providers. That is also important. And the vaccination, even the public also should be vaccinated against the especially infections like hepatitis B, varicella, tetanus, there are vaccines are available. COVID. So vaccines should be used to prevent it. So at the government level, what all things government can do? So antimicrobial use regulations should be strictly followed. The most important thing is the availability, or the antibiotic should not be very easily available, should not be dispensed from the pharmacy without the prescription from the doctor. And the doctor should prescribe the right antibiotic in the right duration, right prescription. Then surveillance system also is important. Then you have to have newer drug developed against this resistant bacteria. So the research has to be promoted, and the rapid diagnostic test should be identified, and it should be there to diagnose it early. So if you are delaying the diagnosis of microbial resistance, again, it will be dangerous. So what are the global action plans against antimicrobial resistance? The WHO has global action plan for that. These are main things I have already discussed. Another thing is a One Health approach. So actually One Health approach is not the individual alone, human alone. It is the nature together. It is taken as a one unit. Here the human being, the animals, the plants, all these things are there coming up. So environment and the other surrounding things. So that is the One Health approach of the global action against antimicrobial resistance. So this concept is very much useful for the prevention of the antimicrobial resistance. Then you should have a proper lab to diagnose the antimicrobial resistance early. Then other international collaboration and policy making should be there. Okay, this other global action plan is strategies, improve the awareness. So see, all these things are repetitions. Okay. So the thing, just I am telling only one slide for my specialty. I think I have already told about all these things. Especially kidney patients are very much infection prone because of the immunosuppressed state. Second thing is the resistant organisms are there, and the most of the, especially patients on dialysis, they are always, the blood is taken from the body and dialysis are done in the dialysis machine, and then it is again given back to the body. So if all these circuits can get infected, so the common drugs, with more than 75% of the drugs transplant patients UTI is very common situation, especially patients after kidney transplant getting urinary infection and the resistant organism difficult to treat. So this also is a problem which we are facing. So future solutions, already told about the newer antibiotic and artificial intelligence-based, AI-based rapid diagnostics, then vaccines, phage therapy, and public awareness and education. These are the things. So this is in a nutshell what all things I have told already. I think one side you how the resistance spread, another side here how can resistance be prevented. So all these things I have already mentioned. Most important thing is the prevention, the hand hygiene and the kitchen hygiene, healthcare system, clean food and water, responsible use of antibiotic, vaccination, communication on public health issues. These are the major things you have to. So to summarize, so AMR is a emerging global threat. So strategies to prevent AMR should be devised at individual level, community level, and hospital level, and even government level. Proper infection control practices prevent spread of infection. So infection control practice is the most important thing. And the antibiotic should be used judiciously and properly. Unjudicious use of antibiotics in animal husbandry and farming practices should be avoided. Measures to dispose pharmaceutical waste to be done. Research for newer antibiotics to be promoted. New methods to prevent microbial growth to be sought. So this is a summary of what all things I have taught. So with this, I am thank you all for the patient listening. So if you have any doubt, I can clear. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for delivering such a clear and comprehensive view of antimicrobial resistance. Your presentation highlighted why AMR is a serious global concern, how it develops and spreads, and the key drivers behind it, supported by a helpful diagram. We greatly appreciate your concise explanation of the difference between antibiotics and antimicrobials, as well as your detailed discussion of AMR's impact on healthcare, including its specific implications in nephrology and dialysis. Your examples of high-risk resistant organisms, the therapeutic challenges they create, and the importance of strong antibiotic stewardship were especially valuable. The prevention strategies you outlined for hospitals, along with broader government and global action plans grounded in the One Health approach, provided a clear roadmap for addressing AMR. Your insights into future solutions further enriched our understanding and left us better equipped to contribute to its important effort. Thank you once again, sir. I now invite our convener, Dr. Ambli, to honor Dr. Sebastian Abraham with memento as a token of appreciation. Thank you, ma'am.
ലൈവാണോ? പിന്നെ എങ്ങനെ മാറ്റും?
ഇതെന്നാ താഴെ ചെയ്തു ഇവിടെ അത് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് ചെയ്തു എടുത്തിടി
തൽക്കാലം ഇങ്ങോട്ട് മാറ്റിയിട്ട് നമുക്കതൊന്ന് എടുത്തിട്ട് തിരിച്ചിട്ട് വയ്ക്കാം. എന്നിട്ട് അതുപോലെ ഇതെടുത്ത് ഇവിടെ വയ്ക്കണേ. മോളെ ഒരാൾ ചെന്ന് മരിയ റോസ് സിസ്റ്ററിനെ വിളിക്കാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. മോളിവിടെ ഫ്രീ ആണോ? മരിയ റോസ് സിസ്റ്ററിനെ വാലഡിക്ടൈസേഷൻ തുടങ്ങാറായി. ഇങ്ങോട്ട് ഹോളിലേക്ക് വിളിക്കുന്ന പറ. മോളെ എങ്ങനെയാണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ വെക്കാം. ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലെ മരിയ റോസ് സിസ്റ്ററിനെ വിളിച്ചിട്ട് വരാൻ. ഇത്രയും നല്ലതായിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ വൈസ് പ്രിൻസിപ്പലിനെ അറിയത്തില്ലേ? നല്ല ആള്. ഇതൊന്നും മാറ്റി ഇതൊന്നും കാണത്തില്ല. യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി പോയിരുന്നു.
Now we move on to the valedictory function of two-day national seminar. I would like to invite Dr. Lindsay Sarah Verghese, Associate Professor of Microbiology, Department of Botany, BK College, Amalagiri, to deliver the valedictory function welcome address. I request ma'am to kindly come forward to the stage.
Good afternoon to one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to this valedictory session of our two-day national seminar on Thamis 2025. Over the past 2 days, we have come together to share knowledge, exchange ideas, and reflect on one of the most urgent global health challenges of our time, antimicrobial resistance. At the outset, I extend a respectful welcome to our Vice Principal, Dr. Sister Manju Jacob. Thank you, Sister, for your presence, continuous support, and guidance. It is my great honor to welcome our Chief Guest, Dr. Mahesh Mohan, Director and Associate Professor, School of Environmental Sciences, Mahatma Gandhi University. We are privileged to have you with us, sir. We are deeply grateful that you have agreed to deliver the valedictory message and distribute the certificates to the winners of the oral and poster presentations. A hearty welcome to you, sir. A warm welcome to our convener of the seminar, Dr. Ambli P. HOD and Associate Professor, Department of Botany, whose vision and guidance have shaped this entire academic event. I also extend my sincere welcome to our organizing secretary, Dr. Tijo Cherian, head of the PG Department of Food and Industrial Microbiology, and the other dedicated organizing secretaries, Dr. Shamala and Ms. Jayalakshmi. Your commitment and hard work over the past weeks have made this seminar possible and meaningful. I take this opportunity to welcome all the participants whose enthusiasm and active engagement throughout the sessions enriched the discussions. A special welcome to the winners and posters of the oral and poster competitions. Your contributions truly added value to the seminar. My heartfelt welcome also goes to the members of the various committees whose behind the scenes efforts ensured the smooth conduct of every session. I also warmly welcome students, research scholars, teachers, and non-teaching staff. Your collective participation and support have made this seminar a collaborative success. As we gather here for the valedictory session, let us reflect on the knowledge gained and the responsibilities we share in combating antimicrobial resistance. May the insights from this seminar inspire future research, greater awareness, and stronger commitment to safeguarding our collective future. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for being part of this important academic endeavor. Thank you all.
Thank you for your kind words, ma'am. I would like to invite Dr. Sister Manju Jacob, Vice Principal, BK College, to deliver the presidential address.
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Mahesh Mohan, Associate Professor and Director, School of Environmental Science, Mahatma Gandhi University. Dr. Ambli P., Head of the Department of Botany and Convener of the seminar. Dr. Sebastian Abraham. Dr. Lindsay Sarah Varghese, Associate Professor Microbiology. Dr. Tijo Cherian, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Food and Industrial Microbiology. Respected dignitaries on the dais, beloved colleagues, teachers from the Department of Botany and Chemistry, beloved colleagues, enthusiastic participants, and dear students. A warm and graceful good evening to one and all. As the Vice Principal of this esteemed institution, it is both a privilege and a moment of immense pride to stand before you today as we conclude this highly insightful national seminar on Towards a Healthier India, harnessing scientific innovations for antimicrobial resistance and stewardship. Over the past sessions, we have collectively explored one of the most urgent and troubling medical challenges of our time, antimicrobial resistance. What we have discussed here has not only broadened our academic understanding, but has also reminded us of our collective responsibility towards safeguarding public health and the future of healthcare in India and beyond. Events like this remind us that knowledge must inspire action. The insight generated here must spread beyond the walls of this hall into classroom, into your laboratories and clinics. Each of us, whether a researcher or a teacher or a student, carries the responsibility to advocate for responsible antibiotic use and scientific innovation. When we work together across disciplines and institutions, we contribute to healthier and a safer India. I would like to take this moment to acknowledge with immense pride and the legacy and academic spirit of our institution, Bishop Kuriyalasheri College for Women, Amalagiri. Guiding by its founding vision of empowering women through value-based education, our college has consistently upheld excellence in academics, research, and holistic development over the years. BK College has built a strong reputation for hosting intellectually stimulating programs like this, national seminars, international seminars, workshops, and FDPs, etc. The success of today's seminar is yet another reflection of the collaborative culture, scholarly commitment, and uncompromising professionalism that define our institution. Every department of this college has demonstrated that when there is a passion for learning, there is no limit to achievement. At this moment, I wish to place on record my heartfelt appreciation to the organizing committee for their impeccable planning and tireless efforts. Your teamwork, vision, and commitment have led to the resounding success of this national seminar. A special note of appreciation is to Dr. Ambali P., convener of the seminar. Thank you for your exemplary leadership. I extend my warm appreciation to the organizing committee members who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes, from planning and scheduling to execution. Congratulations, dear Dr. Tijo Cherian, Dr. Lindsay Saravargis, Dr. Shamila Devi, Ms. Jayalakshmi, Ms. Asha, Ms. Remia, and other teachers of the Department of Botany and Chemistry. I also extend my sincere appreciation to our technical supporter, Sister Jisa, whose invisible hands made a visible difference in the live streaming of this seminar. A special word of appreciation goes to the students of the Department of Botany and Microbiology. Your dedication, discipline, and volunteer service have contributed immensely to the smooth functioning of this program. You have truly been the backbone of this event. Congratulations, dear student. To all the participants, research scholars, teachers, and students from various institutions across the country, I extend my warmest congratulations. Your active involvement, presentations, and thoughtful contribution have made this seminar interactive and productive. Learning becomes meaningful only when knowledge is exchanged, questioned, and expanded. And you have all done that with admirable enthusiasm. Congratulations, dear participants. As we conclude this milestone event, let us remember that our mission does not end today. Let us continue to uphold the values of inquiry, collaboration, and innovation, shaping education not just as a profession, but as a mission dedicated to societal progress. With sincere gratitude to everyone present here, I wish you all the very best in your academic and professional journeys. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, for your kind words. Now we move on to the valedictory address. I invite Anne Mary Shom of First PG, Food and Industry and Microbiology, to speak a few words about the speaker, Dr. Mahesh Mohan.
Dr. Mahesh Mohan is an associate professor and director at the School of Environmental Science, Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala. He also serves as the head of the Department of Geology, Honorable Director of the Inter-University Center for Organic Farming and Sustainable Agriculture, Director of MOOC and Joint Director of ICPS and IIRBS. He has coordinated several major academic programs and national level events on environmental management, sustainable development, climate change, and disaster risk reduction. His notable funded projects include studies on climate smart soil, green nanotechnology solution for environmental remediation and Arctic ecosystem monitoring supported by DST, RUSA, and NCPOR. With extensive contribution to environmental and international and national conference and journal, his research focuses on mercury pollution, PFAS contamination, microplastic, and heavy metals in fragile ecosystem like coastal wetlands and the Western Ghats. His work continues to support scientific solutions for global environmental challenges.
Now, I invite Dr. Mahesh Mohan onto the dais to deliver the valedictory address.
Respected Vice Principal, humble teacher, and other teachers, and my dear students. So first of all, thank you for inviting me to this two-day national seminar. First of all, I want to tell you that I'm not an expert in microbiology. So I may not be a right person to be here, but still, being teacher, the principal, when she contacted me, I was a bit reluctant to accept the invitation as I'm not an expert in this field. But after all, we all are linked with microbes, microorganisms and all. So even our own studies, different studies are interconnected with these microbes. So even antimicrobial resistance too. So when I first heard about microorganisms or microbiology, it's during my MSc period. So my professor, Dr. A. Muhammad Khata, when he tried to teach us the different laboratory techniques to us, he mentioned that so you have to be first of all you should know washing and cleaning. That's the major basic process involved in microbiological analysis and all. So from that onwards, that time onwards, I'm always telling my students also the same thing. Even if it is other chemical analysis also, this washing and cleaning is very important to reduce the air and all. So most of your students, so you have to be very careful to do all such type of analysis. During any type of analysis, you have to be very careful. So that we can reduce the errors in the analysis. So when we come to this type of seminars, national seminars or international conferences or whatever, so mainly it's focusing towards collaborations. Sometimes students can get in contacts with different resource persons, so that in future they can go for their dissertations or some other PhDs or PDFs. You can apply with them. So like that type of contacts you will get from this type of conferences. So when we organize such conferences, normally we are telling our students to interact with resource persons, so that then only you will get an idea about what they are doing in their lab and how they are publishing, what they are publishing, and in future is there any possibility to contact them for further higher studies and all. So when we come to my area of expertise, normally actually I'm an environmental chemist or environmental pollution monitoring scientist. So but in which we are now something focusing on the microbes also, because as mentioned earlier, my area of expertise is mercury pollution. So you know that the worst toxic pollutant or form of mercury is organic mercury. This organic mercury is forming in the nature itself. Inorganic mercury is converting to organic mercury mainly by the activities of sulfur-reducing bacteria. So SRBs in anoxic conditions, they convert inorganic mercury into organic mercury. So anyway, it is these microbes are related to such kind of studies. So that's why the highly toxic forms. So nowadays we are focusing on the transformation of such contaminants. Not only the metals. Metals are normally found in the earth crust, but now we are having some emerging contaminants, so POPs, persistent organic pollutants. All those contaminants are when it enters into environment, it will undergo chemical and biological processes. In which biological process is very important because lot of microorganisms or other organisms can convert or transform in this type of pollutants into sometimes the most toxic forms or sometimes less toxic forms. So this degradation studies are now we are taking up. Recently we had some studies on perfluorinated compound, which is an emerging contaminant. Normally we are using such type of compounds in our daily life. So such compounds are degrading in them. How it is degrading, we don't know how it is degrading. It will cause cancer and other health effects also. So such contaminants has to be degraded in the we have to find some solutions for degrading such type of compounds. So we are searching for bacteria or microbes which are which can degrade, which can degrade and which is less antimicrobial resistance and less pathogenic microbes that can be utilized for the degradation of such compounds. So like that we are continuing our studies even in this PFAS and other persistent organic pollutants like dioxins, PBDs, etc. So in environment science we are dealing with such type of we have some such type of interaction with microbes in our scientific research areas. So like that so we did some studies on microbial diversity of Arctic regions. That is also for to understand the metal microbe interactions in such regions, colder environments. As we know, we are hearing about the global warming, we are hearing about the melting of glaciers and all. So whenever these glaciers melt, you might have heard about sometimes some bacteria or viruses may come out, which supposed to be there in the past, that can be come out and can cause some health effects to human beings. So that may happen because the melting is increasing, so that the along with this meltwater or along the trapped bacteria can or viruses can get into our aquatic ecosystems. So that's also very important factor when we consider about the climate change and all. So we are doing such studies, this microbial diversity and also the temperature increases, the diversity of such microbes increases, the growth of microbes increases. After all, we know that the evolution is faster for the microbial organisms. So they are evolving faster than us. Okay, so that can cause and that can also help us to that can also help us in the sense sometimes such organisms can be used for the degradation of such such highly toxic pollutants. So like that, such type of works we are doing. I am not an expert in the AMR and all. So you people have had a good time during the last 2 days regarding this AMR and all. So you should continue and you should contact resource persons, those who are came here for you. And in future you can have some contacts and also you can do sometimes even PhD or PDF with those persons. Otherwise, sometimes they can help you to find out some other experts in this area. So I think with this I am stopping here because I don't want to talk more on antimicrobial resistance and all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your ideas. I now invite our convener, Dr. Ambli, to honor Dr. Mahesh Mohan with memento as a token of appreciation.
Thank you, ma'am. We now invite Dr. Tito Cherian, Assistant Professor, Department of Food and Industrial Microbiology, BK College, Amalagiri, to represent a brief overview of the seminar.
Respected all, I'll just brief on the overview of the two-day national seminar on AMR. The two-day national seminar on AMR brought together the experts, research clinicians, public health professionals, policymakers, faculty members, students to deliberate on one of the most pressing demands of the health challenges faced by the present 21st century. The seminar aimed to foster a deeper understanding on the emergence and consequences of the AMR while highlighting the innovative strategies for mitigation, surveillance, stewardship, and community engagement. Across the 2 days, we came across the featured keynote speakers, technical sessions, panel discussions, and interactive dialogues that covered a broad range of spectrum of themes, ranging from molecular to One Health and to the critical role of community behavior in combating AMR. The renowned speakers provided insight into the current research trends, global national AMR action plans, and emerging solutions such as antimicrobial stewardship, bioinformatical tools, and novel antimicrobial agents. The seminar also brought a platform for young researchers, postgraduate students to present their work through oral poster sessions, encouraging academic collaboration and knowledge sharing. Discussions emphasize on the need for the interdisciplinary cooperation, responsible academic antibiotic use, improved sanitation and infections control practices, and sustained public awareness initiatives. Overall, a total number of registrations of 210 was coming into the seminar. That is a huge applaud of our two-day national seminar. The keynote speakers were 6, ranging from the wide domains, ranging from the principal scientists to the assistant professors of the ranks. And to all of you, I just present the number of online oral presentations for the range of 41. The number of poster presentations were 14. Overall, the seminar successfully created a collaborative environment for knowledge exchange, capacity building, reinforcing the collective responsibility of the healthcare systems, academia, industrial, and society in addressing the AMR issues. I just conclude with the actionable recommendations aimed at strengthening the national efforts towards AMR containment and promoting the sustainable health practices for the future. Thank you all for your deeper participation.
Thank you, Tito sir, for narrating the overall review of the seminar. It is our great pleasure to introduce an award in honor of Reverend Sister Rose Valliaparambil, our esteemed former principal and HOD of the Botany Department, on their joyous occasion. I invite our Vice Principal, Dr. System, to distribute the prize. The third prize of oral presentation goes to Krishna TB. Second prize goes to Nandana Riju. The first prize of oral presentation for the two-day national seminar is awarded to Sijo Ashokan. I now invite Dr. Mahesh Mohan to distribute the prize for poster presentation. The third prize for poster presentation goes to Sitra Shibu. Sitra Shibu. The second prize goes to Baliga Darshan. The first prize for poster presentation goes to Surya Gayatri S. I now congratulate and thank all the participants and winners of this two-day national seminar. Thank you. I am honored to invite Dr. Ambli, Head of the Department of Botany, BK College, Amalagiri, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to one and all. Respected Vice Principal Dr. Sister Manju Jacob, our Chief Guest of today, Dr. Mahesh Mohan Sir, Dr. G. Balasubramani, distinguished faculties, research scholars, dear sisters, my dear colleagues, Dr. Tijo Jarian Sir, Lindsay Sarah Varghese, Jayalashmi, and all others, and non-teaching staff and my dear students. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this valedictory function of our national seminar on antibiotic resistance. Over the past sessions, we have been enriched with valuable insights, thought-provoking discussions, and inspiring ideas that have deepened our understanding of this globally significant issue. On behalf of the organizing committee, I express our deepest gratitude to our respected Vice Principal, Dr. Sister Manju Jacob, for her presence and for her valuable suggestions during the organization of this seminar. And I express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Mahesh Mohan Sir, for his valedictory address. In your 2 days busy schedule, you accept our invitation and grace this occasion with your presence. Thank you, sir. Our deep gratitude goes to the manager, Reverend Mother Lily Rose, and our principal, Dr. Minnie Thomas, for their constant support, motivation, and encouragement that made this seminar possible. A special word of appreciation to our eminent resource persons for all these days, Dr. G.K. Shivaraman Sir, Dr. Balasubramani, Dr. Sebastian Abraham, Dr. Lindsay Sarah Varghese, Dr. Tijo Cherian, and Dr. Sharmala Devian, who have shared their knowledge and research findings, helping us understand the scientific, social, and medical dimensions of antibiotic resistance. Your contributions have truly enhanced the success of this seminar. Thank you all. A special word of gratitude to Dr. Neha Laj ma'am for her participation and support. Thank you, Dr. Tijo Cherian sir, for your seminar overview. We express our sincere thanks to all participants from various institutions, organizations, and academic background for your active involvement, questions, and meaningful interactions. Your participation gave life to the program. Thank you all. I have to specially mention faculties from Physical Education, MG University, Dr. Mahesh sir, Alvin, Mahesh, Mahesh R, Alvin Matthew T, Professor Dr. Shoshama John, Anandu G. Krishna. A special thanks to all of you, sir. And you have provided us with, I think, 27 members from your department made this event a very great success. Thank you all for your cooperation. Okay. I thank Sister Dina David, Assistant Professor from the Department of English, for all the technical support and streaming live the seminar. Okay. A special acknowledgement goes to the organizing committee, technical team involving Mr. Robin, Jesse Chechi, Deepthi, and all volunteers, non-teaching staff, and our students. Your hard work and team spirit is really appreciable. My deepest gratitude to our department team, including organizing secretaries Dr. Tijo Cherian sir, Dr. Sharmila Devi, and all other organizing members, including Dr. Lindsay Sara Varghese, Ms. Remya, Ms. Jayalashmi, and from faculties from other departments including Dr. Asha S. Matthew, and all HODs from other departments of this college, and all faculties from other departments of this college. A great gratitude. I express my sincere gratitude to all of you for your support and cooperation. A special word of gratitude to Sister Mellet, Sister Teslin, our superintendent, and Sister Mellet, our bursar, and all other sisters and staff of the office for their support. And special thanks to Ms. Jessie, Ms. Deepthi for their technical support. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to my dear students, both from PG and UG, for their cooperation and support throughout the program these 2 days. There is no words to express my gratitude to all of you. A special acknowledgement to the comparing team, Ms. Mariama and Ms. Anne, for your continuous effort. Not only for you, all the team members, all the committee members, including our reception committee, food committee, hospitality, all, and all my degree students also. Each one has some roles. All of them they execute it properly. A very good, a very deep. I cannot express my gratitude. Thank you all, my dear ones. And I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to St. Mary's Catering Service for providing delicious food throughout these 2 days. I think you enjoy the food, I think. And also Mr. Sunny sir for providing tea and snacks. And also, and I express my sincere thanks to Minitech, Adrambuja, Ashoka Press, Mudiurkara, and Jason Nyongani Studio. And there are several, I have to mention a number of persons. I remember in my heart all of them. A special thanks to all of them. I think I mentioned all. Left anyone? Okay, next I have to thank God Almighty. Thank God Almighty for His blessing throughout these 2 days, especially our patron, Ma Thomas Kuryalasheri, for showering us with these blessings. Because 2 days before the climate, the condition, the weather conditions, I can't imagine like a climate like this, because heavy thunderstorm, I think, but these 2 days, nature, I think I believe in God. I think God provided us with the best conditions for conducting this seminar. So I express my deepest gratitude to God Almighty, patron Ma Thomas Kuryalasheri, Pida. And thank you all once again for being part of this important journey. In my heart, in my memory, all of you are in my heart. Thank you once again. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Ambli, for expressing your words of gratitude. May I kindly request all of the dignitaries and participants to stand for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Now we move on to the tea, to drink tea. Thank you everyone for your active participation. By this, we conclude the two-day national seminar, TAMIS 2025. Thank you.
അത് ഉറങ്ങിയ ഈ ഇവിടെ ഒരു കുപ്പി ഇരിക്കുന്ന കുപ്പിയും ഇതിലായി പറഞ്ഞു.
An announcement to make. The participants of SNTB College, please come down to the stage. The participants of SNTB College, please come down to the stage.